Hi friends! It's been a while. It's been a long while. It has been 4 months since I sat and talked to you guys. My name is Nick. This is my Flosstube channel. As you can see, it's been a bit neglected. I'm hoping it won't be as neglected as it has been. We'll see. I can't make promises. But this is Flosstube number 15. And this is a channel where I would normally talk about cross stitch. I'm going to talk a little cross stitch, but I'm also going to talk quilting. It's been a long time since I've quilted also, but I'm going to explain all of that. So it's been 4 months. 4. Ooh, you probably see me bouncing. I'm on a yoga ball now. That's my new chair, but so 4 months. There's a reason it's been 4 months. There's a few reasons it's been 4 months. Back in December, I got a really bad case of tendonitis and golfer's elbows, both elbows, right wrist, and stitching had to take serious back burner. The tendonitis is gone, but because my wrist spent so much time inflamed, the tendon is weak. And the tendon, my wrist suffers when I put pressure on it or if I try to do things that are wrist heavy, which involves stitching. So I'm not stitching as much these days. We're working on it. I'm going to PT twice a week and I'm hopefully getting my strength back. That was my first main reason for the hiatus though, because if you don't stitch, you run out of things to talk about, right? Like what? I could show you guys the endless haul that I'm buying, but how many videos of haul can so many floss tubers watch, right? So that was what initially started the hiatus. And then I've had 2 things to tell you. One, if you follow me on Instagram, which is Stitches with Spinxes, Stitches_with_Spinxes, you know one of them. The other announcement I'm going to make is new. You guys get to hear it first. So number 1, I am pregnant with my second daughter. She is due on New Year's Eve. We shall see. My last daughter, I had to be induced for. They're anticipating the same thing. So we'll see. We'll see if she'll be a 2020 baby or a 2021 baby. And I was pretty sick. I'm feeling better now. So but that's also the reason for my yoga ball, trying to help with, posture and feeling better, all that jazz. And the other thing, the big announcement that you will have not seen on Instagram because I haven't posted it on there yet, is we are moving. We are moving. We are currently in California, right outside of San Francisco, and we are making what better be my last cross-country move because we've already moved one huge move from New York to California to Jacksonville, Florida, St. Augustine, Florida, to be precise. We are going to be right on the cusp of St. Augustine and Jacksonville, but I am technically in St. Augustine. We are building our home out there, which is super exciting for us. It'll be our first time owning a home. And yeah, so we're going through that process and we're having fun with it. But we will be moving at some point, and we had to go through we had to go to Florida, we had to, pick the place, pick the lot, pick all the things. So between being pregnant and sick, and then having to spend an extended period of time out in Florida to figure everything out, I didn't have anything crafty to show you. But I'm back because I have some things. So the very first grouping of things that I'm going to show you are FFOs, which are fully finished objects. They are all cross-stitch related, and they're all done by Alyssa at Starry Night Studios. I talk about Alyssa all the time because I send my stitching to her all the time. I have 2 hangers of unfinished work chilling in a closet. I am slowly sending them out to both Total Framing in Virginia and Alyssa in Arizona. So if you want some fully finished cross-stitch items that are not in a frame, I 100% recommend Alyssa. Ooh, can I talk? It's like I'm new at this. So, I'm going to just jump right in, right? Hold on. So, she definitely sent me a package in those 4 months that I didn't show you guys. I think everything is kind of littered around the house, like it's up and where it belongs. Couldn't remember everything she sent. I think I put some of the stuff away for Christmas decor. I only have one thing that came from that previous package, and that is this. I do not have a pattern name. I have basically no information on this piece. Hold on, let's see if I can get it to pop a little more. Maybe a clear piece of paper would be good. Oh, look here. The preschool holidays. Nobody cares about that. As you can see, it's a little yellow. It is old. I'm not sure how old, because this was a piece that my aunt did. I am the child of my father was the youngest of 6. So by the time I was older, his siblings were older. And unfortunately, my dad's family, just his siblings, I don't know if they weren't healthy. I lost all of them. I have one left of the 6. And my aunt, whom I was very close with, and I lost at the age of 18, I was 18, to lung cancer, was a stitcher. And I don't remember much about when she passed, but I somehow ended up with some of the things that she stitched. I have a feeling that somebody remembered that I stitched and handed it to me, and I took it without a second thought, and I found some of her things, and this was one of the things she stitched. So rather than just hang in my hidden closet of unfinished objects, I sent it to Alyssa. I sent it with this paddle board. It is actually, it's labeled as a cooking recipe holder. I got it from Joanne. It comes with a little piece of wood here that I just ripped right off. You can actually see it where it was, but I don't care too much about that because it's just the back it's going to hang. And Alyssa painted it, and she did everything to it and made it pretty so that I can hang it up where it can be seen the light of day. Make me remember my aunt. So I don't know the name of this pattern. I have no idea where she got it. I don't know when she stitched it. Nothing. I'm sorry if anybody was looking for this, but if I were to guess, it's probably something very common that she grabbed at a craft store, because she passed, well, I'm a little older now, so she passed quite a few times. It was way before this stuff was all up on the internet, and I don't think she really knew of the big designers, and we had no cross-stitch stores where I was from, so I'm pretty sure she got this from Michael's. There's a good chance. So if anybody's looking for this, I'm very sorry. I can't tell you anything else. But that's from the other package. If I make another video of FFOs, I'll try to remember what else was in there. This is a frosted pumpkin stitchery piece. This is from when I took a hiatus from stitching, I think while I was in high school, because I was busy doing, a plethora of other things that one does in high school. And this is what I picked up when I first started to get back into stitching. I was stitching this in my first home when I moved out, so I had to be around 22. That's about a good 8 years ago now. So this is 8 years old, but I am sure you can still get this at the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery website, because I don't think they discontinue their patterns. But I sent this to Alyssa. She put this on a little wooden mound. Look at that little button. Look how cute. And it was one of those things where it was so small, I didn't have any idea what I was going to do with it. This was just me trying to get back into cross stitch, and it worked. And it fell out of the closet, and I was like, Alyssa will know what to do. And she did. So now I can hang it up on my wall. I have a Halloween tree. I don't think we're going to put it out this year. Probably once we move, that will be the first year that we put it out. And this is actually a perfect little ornament to go on that Halloween tree. Do you have Halloween trees? Am I the only one? I'm obsessed with Halloween. Obsessed. So this is my time, y'all. This is my season, like right when we're coming out of the summer and going into fall. Because all the Halloween stuff comes out. I am so ready. I gravitate towards Halloween stitching greatly. So I'm excited. I will have my tree. Tell me if you have a tree. My husband thinks I'm a little cuckoo, but that's okay. I like my Halloween tree. Just there is another piece that I did at the same exact time as that one, also from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I don't know the name. I 100% know that it's the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I definitely, this is the exact same fabric. They were attached to each other, so at least I just cut them and made them separate. Went on a little paddle board, the same one that, same type of what I showed you before. Again, got it at Joann's. It was cheap. Like, these are not expensive if you grab them at Joann. Look how cute. Alyssa has such a way. She just knows. Love it. Look, I don't know if you can see the color. It is a beautiful purple. She told me her mom painted it for me. I don't know her name, so shout out to Mama Starry Night Studios. Thank you so much. I love this color. It's really pretty. I mean, it is not picking up on the camera, but it is a beautiful lavender. Ugh. Darn you, son. This was the only time I had to film, so there. It's beautiful. I love it. I was so excited when I saw it. So thank you, Mama Starry. That's the last. No, I have one more paddleboard. Oh no, the button fell off. I have to find it. This is from the Be Well and Stitch collection that came out early 2020 when all the designers were putting out like the pandemic patterns, when we thought we were, you know, just in this for a little bit. I cannot remember where this pattern is from. I will look it up, try to put it like here, let you know where it was from, because it was a freebie. It had to be, and I'm not sure if it's available, but I will try and pop it here because it's so cute. I don't know if you can tell. It's a little beehive over a well, and there are little tulips here at the bottom. There's 100% a button this came with because I opened all of these before I prepped for this video. I don't know where it went, but I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put it back because it was super cute. It was like a little beehive. How cute. Again, Joann's paddleboard. I love these. I don't know if you can tell. They're just perfect for your smalls. This is a Christmas ornament. These two, because it's double-sided, are ink circles. They were in a magazine. They might have been in 2 different magazines. I believe they were. It has been a long time since I stitched these. I stitched these when I first decided that I was having a red and blue Christmas decor for like my house. The Christmas tree, everything's like this red and blue. And I made that decision, I believe, when I was still in New York. And I have been in California for 5 years now. So I truly cannot remember when I stitched this. Again, if I find the information or the pattern or the magazines and you want, I know it's ink circles. I 100% know that. And I am almost positive they were 2 different magazines. And they were just companion pieces. But I just decided one ornament was enough and that they'd look super cute like this. So this will go on my Christmas tree this year. Very excited for that. I'm ready for Christmas. I'm ready for all of the holidays. I'm that person. I'm very sorry. I got one, I think these are flat folds, right? Yeah, one flat fold. This was Onward Noble Steed. This is a freebie from Lindy Stitches. I don't know if you can still get it. I think it was last year. Super cute. Gonna have it out all year round. I love it. And if you like, it looks like it sparkles. I don't know where she got this fabric, but it's not sparkly, but it definitely looks like it's sparkly. Look, so cute. Trying to find good places to put these things. I don't know what you'd call this, a wall hanging. I'm gonna go with a wall hanging. Look how cute! Sorry, I got high pitched. This was 3 different designers. Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Ah, shoot, I should have looked all these up. I have it on the tip of my head. They were designers who were looking to help raise money for the Australian fires that happened, I think, right before the pandemic, so early 2020, like January 2020. And I had stitched them on one piece of Aida this way. So they were going horizontally. And I thought they'd look super cute in a frame where you could have all 3 showing. But I didn't space them out accurately. Like, I didn't measure. I have this problem where I'm always like, it'll just work out. I don't need to measure the distance between what I'm trying to do. I can eyeball it and it'll be okay. It was not okay. It was just not. They were not evenly spaced. And you could tell, like, one was a little higher than the other. And I mean, it was because the patterns weren't designed to be stitched as a trio. They are 3 different designers. So it wasn't like I was using, like, the same grid size. They just weren't meant to be that way. It was a cute idea, poorly executed by moi. So I threw it in the closet, forgot about it, and then sent Alyssa a picture, and I was like, but do you think you can work with this? And she said yes. And I basically gave her, when I don't know what to do, I just tell Alyssa, you tell me what you think will work. Because her brain works in a much more creative way than mine does in the finishing aspects. And look what she came up with. I love it. It is so cute and it's perfect. I love every single little koala, my one little Roo. And I'm going to put it up on a wall, probably around where, like, my kids' play area will be in the new home, because children love animals, and I think it would be perfect there. The last piece I have, the last FFO, is what I'm so excited about. This was one of the last pieces I worked on in 2020 before I got hurt. I was probably already hurt, to be honest, and didn't realize it. But she did such an amazing job. Are you ready? Are you ready? Look at this! Oh, look how cute. Look at that little ghost. Look at him. This is perfect. I love it. Is it strange to hug your finished stitching pieces? Okay, it's strange, but I can't be alone. I refuse to believe I'm the only one that's ever done that. Refuse. This is Jack-O-Lantern Junction Farm. Pretty confident that. Jack-O-Lantern Junction Farm by Hands On Design. The actual drawing is by Stitching with Housewives, but Hands On Design released the pattern. They have a few of these. They have one for Easter. They have one for Christmas. And the fun thing, the best part about this stitch is as you stitch it, you find more and more that you didn't realize was there, because it is a super in-depth pattern. Super. There's special back stitching. There's little animals everywhere. You know, like there's a pumpkin in that window. It's just, you find more and more as you stitch. And it was a lot of fun. The pattern itself is not my favorite. I don't know what happened. It was printed in a way where the symbols are small. Some are hard to read. Some are very close to one another. It's not my favorite pattern. But I love how it stitches up. I made some minimal changes. There was no pink. The pink pumpkins, not a called for thing. I think they were supposed to be gray. And I just didn't want gray. So I found something else that I thought would look pretty on the chalkboard. And I think that's the only change I made. Yes, can confirm. I have the Christmas one on my list. After I did this one, I put it down because this was hard on my eyes. This is a 36 count linen. And it was as hard as if you were stitching on black, to be honest. And I probably did this in poor lighting for such a project. But I do love how it came out. It was worth it in the end. So I will probably go back and do the Christmas one day. So that's it for the stitching. If you have no interest in quilting whatsoever, I completely understand, and I will see you the next time I have a stitching update. But if you enjoy some quilting, I have some. So I have discovered that while using my rotary blade is hard on the wrist, cutting things with actual scissors is not as difficult. If I do a lot of cutting, my wrist protests, but it doesn't go into a full-blown attack. So I have been doing a lot of applique, machine applique, because all it requires is for me to cut and then use my machine. I like machine applique. I use a blanket stitch on a Brothers sewing machine, and that works for me. So if you've never tried it and you have a machine with that capability, I would recommend. Right now, I am working on the Raven by Blackbird Designs. It has 9 squares, and it is inspired by the Edgar Allan Poe poem, The Raven. If you open the book, Alma put in this adorable little blurb saying that when she was young, in the 6th grade, her teacher made her stay inside during recess and memorize this poem for talking in class. I grew to love it, and it was one of the best things I learned that year. And each block has a name. It's like, I'll just tell you, look. So like Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, and it goes for the entire poem, and she has little excerpts of the poem. They have little excerpts of the poem with each block, and it was just really cute. And believe it or not, I bought this while I was injured, but I bought it thinking it was regular quilting. And sometimes Blackbird books are hard to get a hold of if you don't grab them when you first see them. So I told myself, just grab it, you'll probably get around to it. And then when I realized it was applique, I said, I might be able to do that right now. And lo and behold, I can. So I did not have any plans on starting this at all. I had no plans on diving back into my quilt stash because I quilted a lot in New York. I went through I think a 2-year period of a lot of quilting. And I quilted up until the day we packed our things up and shipped them across the country. My husband arrived in California first, and I stayed behind for I think about 2 months with my mom. And I had to send my sewing machine. And I, like I said, sewed up to that day. Got to California, and I don't know what happened. I thought I have a couple of in progress quilts. I'm hoping I'll get back to them. But they've been sitting in my closet for 5 years. I just picked up my stitching and I was really happy with that. So that's what I was focused on. So I had no intention of getting back into quilting. Here I am, quilting like a mad person, like every day. And I'm happy. So we're going with it. We're going with I am happily quilting right now. So I'm going to show you the first 2 blocks. These 2. Now, if you applique, if you pick up this book, if you've already appliqued, there are a few rules, right? Like there are rules for everything. one of the rules is if you're going to use fusible webbing, you have to be aware that the fusible webbing has two sides, a paper side and the webbing. You draw out on the interfacing the design, you heat it onto the fabric, cut that out, remove that paper, and then you can fuse it to the piece of fabric that you're going to use as your background, right? But one of the cardinal rules, or one of the things you're supposed to keep in mind, is this is a mirror image. So if you don't flip your pattern when you're drawing it on, your blocks are going to be backwards from the way they intended. I knew this. Okay, I have appliqued before. I appliqued a big Hogwarts crest onto a Hogwarts blanket that I have. And I appliqued a lot when I was doing a lot of craft swaps. So I knew. I decided I didn't want to go through all the trouble of flipping everything and trying to remember to flip everything. So I am doing the blocks backwards from what they intended. And I think that's okay because nothing in here really screams that they needed to be facing a certain way. The only thing I'll say is, like, if you know anything about tattooing, the tattoo is always supposed to be facing in. So if you get a tattoo, like let's say on your chest or even on your arm, let's go with arm. So the face, if it is a person, is supposed to be facing towards you, not away. That's just what I had always heard was the rule. It's what I've always seen. And that does follow this rule for the most part. Almost all of those birds are facing in. There are a few that aren't, but the majority of them are. I don't know if that was done intentionally with that same idea to be facing inward. Mine are not going to be that way, and I'm okay with it. So I'm going to show you what they look like. So this is the first block that I have completed. I am going for a very different look than what is in the book. The book is, if you read the directions and what it tells you you need, everything is a floral, a purple floral fabric, a yellow floral fabric, black and brown floral, everything's floral. I am going with a more modern Halloween raven quilt because A, that's more my style. I already told you I love Halloween, so you can never have too many Halloween quilts. And because I took such a long hiatus from quilting, I am very hesitant to buy more fabric because I have a lot. I have a lot in stash. I was actually sending a lot of it to Alyssa when she was finishing my pieces, just so I had a way to get rid of it because I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And we are moving, and it seems silly that I transported all that fabric from New York to California to never be touched, to then transport it again from California to Florida and not know if it's going to be touched. So I'm very determined to buy the least amount of fabric I can buy right now while I'm quilting. So far that's working. Obviously I did need to go and get the background. I don't have yardage like this. I have a lot of fat quarters, 1/4 yards, probably even a yard, but nothing. This was, I think I needed 3.5 yards of this background fabric, and I only bought 3.5 yards. It's all pre-cut already. My husband cut them for me because I'm actively working on this. So I was okay with that because it's not going to go sit in the closet. So yeah, this is the first one. I'm going to do a close-up for you. There is a lot of cotton and steel in this quilt because I enjoyed cotton and steel. I think both of these fabrics are cotton and steel. I did look online. You still can get a lot of the cotton and steels. These are cotton and steels. These are actually, this pink up here is actually the same fabric as this. The great thing about this applique is there are a bunch of smaller pieces that you can use your scraps on. So when you have this, this is a large bird and it was an awkward shape when you're cutting it out. So it leaves a lot of excess fabric all over. you can use it because you're going to need these smaller pieces for everything else. I struggled with brown. I didn't realize I just don't have a lot of brown fabric. So it was hard for me. I've got a better handle on it now, I think. Kitty, my friend Kitty, who lives nearby, is on Instagram. She has 2 Instagrams. One, I believe, is Crafty Possum, and the other one, I can't remember her personal one, but she is Crafty Possum. She actually gave me this fabric, which ended up being so perfect. She gave me another one. It's not in this block, it's in the second. I have some out of print Tula Pink. I am obsessed with Tula Pink. Almost none of her fabric worked for this quilt though. But I did have some brown out of print, and I just said to myself, you're not going to sell it, right? Because I probably, out of print Tula, it goes for much more than it should. And I wasn't going to sell it. And I decided to use it. Hoping I'll use the quilt, so that'll be okay. But this is from her Hushabye collection, which is seriously OOP. This is also out of print. I can't remember what collection it's from, but it is out of print. I'll be using that one, I think, more than the Hushabye. We'll see. But yeah, as you can see, I'm using the blanket stitch. I'm going very color happy with, I have a lot of colored thread. I use a lot of Aurifil, so I am going for a lot of color on this, which is probably what's slowing me down the most as I'm appliquing this, because I'm constantly changing colors. There was a lot of brown in this block, but you can see this is blue. This one I went for black over here. There's a little bit of yellow. That's also cotton and steel. So this is the first block. And I just, right before this, finished the second block. And nobody has seen it yet in its full form. So y'all are the first. We'll see. I might end up posting it on Instagram tonight. I think this video is probably going to go up tomorrow. So you might not be the first in the end. I'm sorry. But this is the second block. I am seriously in love with how everything is coming out. I decided to go for teal pumpkins because I like that. This is all cotton and steel. I don't know about that one, but these two are. Cotton and steel. I don't know what this fabric is, but how fabulous did it come out on that wing. I am so proud of the idea to throw that on the wing. Oh, so happy, so happy. This is the other fabric that Kitty gave me. Perfect, more Hushabye, cotton steel, and as you can see, I'm using different colors again with the threads. Orange, purple, blue, just a lot of color changing. So it's taking some time, but it's gonna be worth it, and I'm very excited. So these are the 2 blocks that I have finished. And I'm probably going to cut out the pieces for the next one, probably after I stop this video. So I'm excited to see how it's coming together. I'm very excited that I can actually applique. And to me, that's just, I don't even have the words. It feels great to be crafting again. Not being able to stitch really makes me sad. So this makes me happy. So we're gonna continue on that. The only other quilting thing I have is, I'm dropping things, is this. So back in my early quilting days, I joined a few block swaps. We're going to try and, oh, we're upside down. I'm going to try and show this to you on my own. It's hard showing off quilt tops. I did post this on my Instagram, so if you'd like a close-up. Oh, I'm not going to be able to fit it. Okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna show you in pieces. I was in short people problems. I can't get the whole thing in. I was in a cotton and steel, kind of like a Red Robin type of thing. A block swap is truly what they're called. And you were in it with 12 people, and each of the 12 people told you what they wanted in a block. I believe in this block swap they were sending you 2 of everything. I'm going to try and put a full picture in so that you can get a better idea than what I'm holding up. But they were sending you 2 of each block. You gave them whatever guidelines you wanted to give them. And it was my first block swap, and I didn't think it out. And the only guideline that, the only parameters of this swap that you had to work with was it had to be cotton and steel. That every single person's block was just cotton and steel, which if you don't quilt, they're fabric designers, and they put out a lot of lines, so there's a lot of options. They are still in production, I believe, and they're still, you can they are, because you can still get all of their fabric. But they put out a lot of lines. They have holiday fabric, like this is from their Christmas line from like 5 years ago, things like that. So that was the only parameter everybody had to follow. I should have been more specific, but I was new, and I just said, make me a pumpkin, because I love pumpkins and Halloween. And the problem is, if you tell 12 people, make me something with no instruction whatsoever, like if you just tell 12 people to make you a pumpkin, it's kind of like the Moo the Merrier thing with the stitching designers. Every single person is going to come up with something completely different, which is wonderful and beautiful, and it's so much fun to see because you don't know what anybody's going to come up with, right? It's great to see where everybody's imagination goes. It is a bit of a problem when you are trying to make a cohesive quilt, right? Because you have, like I have a row of white pumpkins, right? Perfect. If I had told them, please give me a white pumpkin on a dark colored background, I would not have struggled so hard with trying to figure out which block should go where, what placement looked best. I didn't say that though. I just said, make me a pumpkin. So I have white pumpkins, rainbow pumpkins. I have teal pumpkins, actual orange pumpkins. I have 2 Christmas pumpkins. So in the end, I decided not to do any stashing. It probably could have brought them all together, but it would have been hard on my wrist. And these blocks have been living in a closet since New York. They traveled in block form from New York to California, and it was time. And they were all done. I was supposed to have made my own blocks as well. I did not make any of these blocks. These are all from the ladies that were in the block swap with me. And I mean, I don't regret this for a second, even though I did not tell everybody what to do. Ooh, look at my quilt. And it made my life difficult now, because I'm still friends with a lot of these people. Kitty being one of them. I believe I met Kitty in the block swap. She 100% she did. These 2. They're both applique. I love them. I love applique right now. I'm trying to think who else that's big on this. I don't think there are a lot of these ladies big in the stitching community as well, other than Kitty, but I'm still friends with a good chunk of them, and that's exciting. This is 6 years ago they made me these blocks, and I'm still friends with those people because of a block swap. I will take the trouble it took to figure out what I was doing with my life any day. And a big thank you again to Kitty for helping me, because I have to tell you, the 2 hardest blocks on this to place were the orange and the red, because there's just not a lot of orange and red in this quilt. So it did make it a little bit of a challenge, but she helped me in the end. We got there, and I am grateful for that. So, because I have discovered that I can applique, excuse my bounce, I have bought a few other applique books that I can keep going on once I finish my raven quilt. They are Blackbird designs because I had a feeling after I did this one that if I ordered more of their quilting designs, there was a really good shot they were going to be applique. And I was right. So the first one I bought is still in print. It is called A Midnight Silhouette. I do not know if the entire quilt is applique. I have a strong feeling it's not. I have a feeling the moon cat building, that nice piece in the center, I have a feeling that's probably the only applique. I have a feeling those blocks are all traditionally quilted. I'm not sure because when I opened it up, I can show you this because there's not much you can do with it. It is stapled in there, and it is stapled here, and there's no way to just open it. So I'm assuming you have to, remove the staple and pull the whole thing out. And I don't want to do that because I am not ready to do this quilt. Working on the raven. I did open it because it was sealed. I got this from Jen's Stitching Niche on Etsy. Oh yeah, no, I can actually see looking at this. This is one big block. And I'm assuming this is all traditional quilting over there. If you've done this quilt, let me know. Words, blanking. I don't want to take it out yet. We will as I'm ready to do this, but it's on the short list because look how cute. It's Halloween. I told you can't have too many Halloween quilts. And then I found this other book on Etsy. This one is out of print. I'm sorry if someone's been looking for it. I found it on Etsy. It was $30, and I that's not bad. It's probably a little pricier than it would have been if it was in print. I don't know. I think it is. I want to say it probably should have been closer to half of that, like maybe 15. I don't think it says on here. Trying to check. No, I don't know, but Blackbird's Designs normally does reprint their stuff, so I'm hoping Alma will decide to reprint. I don't know what's going to happen since the entire stitching community lost Barb in July. What a loss. I know everybody said it. I don't know what'll happen. I don't know if this book will come back, but I'm excited that I have it. It is almost all applique, which is perfect for me. It is called Small Favorites for All Seasons, a book of quilts and projects from Blackbird Designs. These are not as big as this. They are more mini quilts. And there was a lot of, I looked through it. It was printed in 2004. There's a lot of patriotic quilts. There's this one Halloween quilt, this Christmas quilt, and then there was a bunch of other things. The patterns that they have produced as stitching patterns as well. This I know is a stitching pattern. Actually, Midnight Silhouette is also a stitching pattern, just that cat in the house. This fish that was recently re-released in a book. I'm trying to remember what book. Summer's Jubilee? Someone fact check me. Summer's Jubilee? I think it was just re-released in cross stitching. There's definitely some not applique in here, but the amount of applique outweighs the not applique in there for me. This, the Patriotic Delivery, I think is in that same book as Summer's Jubilee. I keep saying that as if I know that is 100% a book. Look at this little Valentine's Day package. So I'm excited for this. I don't even know if it's a Valentine's. It's called Stars in Bloom. Could be patriotic, could be Valentine's Day. I'm gonna go with Valentine's Day. I'm gonna do that one for Valentine's Day. But this was just a very exciting snag for me. And considering that I'm loving crafting and I want to craft and finding it hard, I went for the $30 applique book that I don't know if it'll be back in print. Pleased with my purchase. So, if you've done any of these, let me know. I want to know. I don't know how much overlap there is in the stitching and quilting community. I know most of the people that I am friends with on Instagram really stick with stitching, but I know there are some, like Becca from Sambry Stitches. She's learning how to quilt, you know, and then there are people who make a lot of bags, so you must have some, you know. There's some quilting going on in there. So I hope if you have found me because of the stitching, you'll stay for the quilting, because I don't know how soon I'm going to get back into stitching. I'm trying with every fiber of my being to heal this bad boy and get us back up there. But I think for the time being, we're going to have a Flosstube of quilting. So I hope you stick around. Thank you so much for staying with me today. I have missed everybody. I'm hoping to be back more. And, you know, that's it. If you enjoyed my video, like, subscribe, right? Because it's nice knowing that I'm making these for someone that's not just me. Like, comment, subscribe, right? And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.